So, welcome to this episode of The Rumble. Very rarely have I talked to the same person more than once, possibly because there's so many people, so I don't need to go back to them. But this gentleman I'm talking to, Baburajan, he's a farmer, and farmers are great people to talk to, and therefore why he comes on. I hope to have him many more times with us. So, welcome to the show, Baburaj.
Yeah, thanks, Madhav.
This, the last time we spoke, you were generally, I would say, unhappy, but you didn't sound like blissful about the whole thing about being a farmer. You weren't very convinced that it was a worthwhile effort. Has anything changed since then?
Yeah, so till the last time when we parted ways, so we kind of summarized that the farmer is pretty much left on his own.
Yes.
While that thought still continues with me, but there are still certain, very good things what I've discovered in the past 1 year.
Okay.
I found that, I was not breaking even. So there was a cash outflow, there was no cash inflow. So I was trying to find out a rule or a method, how do I break even?
Okay.
So I found that investing in cows was giving me a little bit of returns. So, we are able to produce milk, we are able to give to the society. So there is a steady cash flow which is coming in. So
but wherever you do dairy farming in Tamil Nadu, you can still get it to a place where you can sell it?
Yes.
Even if you're far away from the city?
Yes, there are local cooperative societies available.
Or they purchase it from you?
Yes, every farmer can, sell his produce there. So they have a measurement of the quality of the milk.
Is it like what Anand has done in Gujarat, I guess?
More or less,
the
yes.
Amul pattern.
Yeah, more or less.
So
yes.
they have these big, huge steel, whatever you call those big tanks.
Here it is aggregated in small way. There are this milk cans. What is used as a measurement point.
Okay.
Then the societies help in aggregating that. So there are Tata Aces which come there at
So
very
who
critical
owns that
towns.
society?
This all done by society is aggregation of small time farmers there.
Oh,
and
so
they nominate their leaders.
Okay.
And then they in turn sell it to the government procurement agency.
So one is their own income, and the other one is the income of this little agency. And so don't they have a
No, the farmer
generate
only
money?
gets an income. If he has cows, he can sell the milk and then he gets an income.
Okay. So the people running this cooperative.
Yes.
Who are they? Who are they among the farmers?
Among the farmers and local respected well-known people.
No professionals from the world of dairy
No
farming.
professionals yet. In the village where I am, there are no professionals yet.
Did you feel the need for it?
Not necessary, because all you need to know is to know the local
Front end of the cow from the back end of the cow. And
you need to know the local villagers very good. You need to know that who brings you a trustworthy milk. You need to know.
That's important.
Yeah, you need to know then how you can aggregate and sell it. So,
Okay.
As long as you're methodical, I think it's okay.
And it doesn't spoil?
There are chillers and freezers in between
that's
points.
what.
So that is where they take it to.
So who runs those?
I think they are run by the government departments.
Oh, that's also government. So there are no private people. But though I see
Private
so many
people are also there. So it depends on where the society wants to put. Typically, the government society people or the agricultural society people sell it to the government. The private milk producers also put up their stalls in our villages, but it didn't take off in a big way.
Or they try to compete against the...
Yeah, they try to compete against the government, but it didn't
Okay.
take off in a big way. So the farmers still come to the.
Because I always
non-government
wondered, there are
society.
brands like Arokya and...
Vijay is one in my area.
Who
Arogya
owns-
is in
who
one in
owns
my
these
area.
things?
So
Who owns
it's private producers.
They seem to be a large organization with
Yes.
huge logistics,
Yes.
trucks and workers and three-wheelers and two-wheelers and...
Yes, actually, if you go down the memory lane 3 to 4 months before, there was a big issue about farmers not getting buyers for their milk. A lot of milk was actually thrown down by the farmers in the road. So the government.
Oh, that was a demonstration against...
because the
low
government,
prices.
the farmers couldn't sell their produce. So this so happened during the vacation time when the procurement demand was much less. So the
Okay.
government sent back a lot of people through the societies, and there was a huge protest across Tamil Nadu where the government, the farmers poured the milk into the roads.
Okay.
And then I think government stepped in, and now the demand has again picked up.
So I guess we don't have things like cheese, which is very popular abroad. They may convert all the extra milk into cheese, or that itself is a product.
Yes.
Do we make cheese? I don't think so.
See, the value addition to a product happens in multiple ways.
Yeah.
Let me go through milk, immediately curds, and then from there to butter, and then to ghee, and then govas, and then milk, sweets, and all that.
that's
So I reside in Bangalore. So I find Nandini is the name of the what equivalent to Avan in Tamil
Karnataka
Nadu.
is,
Yes, Nandini is very well run. So Nandini products are very, very popular.
Yeah, I see those milk sweets all over the place.
Yes, not only in Karnataka, it's very popular outside. I am not aware whether Avin has that much of a value.
But of course,
addition and
that
reach.
will be a product which is being made by that company, so it won't accrue to the farmer itself, those value additions.
Demand and excess produce of milk gets used into value-added products.
That's the advantage.
Yes,
I
that's the
guess.
advantage.
So when you have these people coming into your villages from the government departments, are they aware of the entire food chain, the way the whole thing operates? Are they brainy? I mean, do they can teach you something?
Let me react in a different way. First, I'll just finish off this. So the positive side, what I find is there's a steady cash flow, which I'm able to get in, which is the use of dairies.
Okay.
The next one I am finding is what will make a farmer sustain. So one model is the dairy model. The second model is again a little bit on the animal husbandry.
Okay.
So where goats I find is a very big time beneficiary for the farmers.
Biryanis.
Biryanis, it's something equivalent to a liquid cash.
Yeah,
So let's say you buy a goat, typical price is around 2,000 rupees a goat. You rear the goat for around 5 to 6 months. You can
Basically, you let it run around.
let it run around either your own fields or neighboring fields or no man's lands fields, and after some 6 months you can sell it to 7,000 to 7,500 rupees per goat. So there is good value addition to the goat. So these two will give a liquid
That's
cash.
in 3 months, 600%.
Yes, you need volumes.
Yeah.
If you grow only 4 or 5, then it doesn't help you that much. But if you grow 50, then it really helps you good much. Take a little bit of 10% here and there on mortality and the diseases what inflict on the goats. So this is one area. But coming back to your point, there are two severe shortages what I find in the village. One is veterinary doctors. You do not have qualified veterinary doctors today in the village. Okay,
You need them.
Of course you need them, because if something happens to your cow, you can't take the cow to the dispensary every time. It's a very expensive affair. You need people to reach out to you.
So they should be trained, not necessarily veterinary doctors, maybe some kind of like a midwife kind of
Yeah,
thing.
some compounders also act as a doctor based on their experience or with their association with the doctors.
Are they paid well?
I think reasonably okay. So one visit to my farm, if he sees around some 2-3 cows, we pay him around 400 rupees.
No, those
is
guys
okay.
are paid well by the government?
No, I'm not
Is
sure
there any
whether they
incentive for
receive
them?
anything from the government, but a visit to a local farmer, he will get anywhere from 200 to 400 rupees, depending upon what is the sort of the treatment, whether any medicine he injects, etc. He will
No, I
get
was just
that.
asking so that you get enough people who want to join that service.
I am not aware of that. I have experienced guys coming into the farm, and this is what
But we don't know
make
how
that.
they become what they
What is the
become.
government mechanism to encourage or make that profession an
Or is there-
exciting one?
is there-
I do not know.
Is there a licensing for it, or is there some?
Yeah, you should pass out of a veterinary college. You should be a certified
I've
doctor.
only seen one down here and one, I don't know where, Coimbatore?
Coimbatore. No, I am not. I am not. I am quickly not able to recall. So that is one part. The second part is the agricultural officer. He visits the farm, and then he says, okay, now is the RD season. So in the RD season, he says these are all the seeds what you can put in your land.
So you see, the government, no matter what it tries, unless it passes on that information correctly to the farmers, it's a
Yes.
lot wasted in between. So we'll find out about that from him when you come back. So you said one was, of course, regular farming, whatever crops. Then you added on goats, and then you had cows. So what are the other areas of where a man can make money? A
Yes.
farmer.
The other one is in Tamil Nadu. Typically, we are more blessed on the northeast monsoon, which is, let's say, typically it starts around October and continues
Yeah.
till December.
Yeah.
So here, millets can be grown in a big way. So I come in a village where there's a lot of black cotton soil. So ragi is grown in a big way. Bajra is grown in a big way. It's known as ragi and kambu.
Yeah.
In Tamil, that's
It's very
grown in a big
popular
way.
in here
Very
also?
popular in.
How do they eat it? I mean, what do they make out of it?
Ragi is had in rotis.
Acha.
Bajra is also
we
made
eat,
of
we
rotis.
eat rotis in
Yeah. Ragi.
Villages?
Ragi balls. They make ragi muddes.
ragi mudda.
Ragi muddas.
okay.
So and many people take it as porridge, kanji.
Okay,
Ragi. So
okay.
that's a good
it's very
source
healthy.
of nutrition.
Very healthy.
Yeah. Next one, kambu is they make kambu soru. Okay. So kambu soru they make it. So millets can be grown in a big way. Of course, very few people. A lot of people still are the
How does it
conventional
compare
way.
to rice?
Yeah. So Rice needs a lot of water.
That's the main
That's
difference.
a big difference. Okay, whereas ragi doesn't need that much water.
So if you have no rice and your area only grows this millets and stuff,
Yes.
will that be sufficient to take
That
care
could
of?
be enough, because varagu is another millet, what is grown in a big way. So these were all the things which are grown in Tamil Nadu, let's say 3-4 decades ago, but somehow people do not grow in a big way. Varagu and all is really costing as good as a rice. Varagu 1 kg is now around 60 rupees.
Okay.
Almost the same like a good quality rice. So
Okay,
this
so
is one area.
that is regular farming of let's say staples,
Yes.
rice, wheat, and all that.
Yes.
That's another source of income.
That's another
Or
source of
kya hai?
Then vegetables, people can grow
Does it
vegetables.
require a lot of attention, vegetables?
Yeah, but a family, husband, wife, and let's say 2 children. If it's a family farming, then this is possible. One is I'm looking at a self-sustainability of a farmer. He did not wait for anybody to help him. So with a little
So
bit
you're not
of
dependent
millets,
on the government
no,
every
no
day.
dependency is required. With a little bit of millets and vegetables, and with this goat and dairy, he can live a life with a lot of dignity. I'm sure that if there is
So he may
basic
not
support
make a
provided,
fortune, but he will have no begging.
yes, at least I am confident that they may not get into suicides. So the only variance here is the weather and the amount of availability of water. So and the power to run the borewell.
Yes.
This is the only thing which is outside his control. Otherwise, at least I'm confident he
If
can
he
live
does
a
this,
life.
he'll be.
At least he can eat well and be at peace. That's the thing today. What is more challenging for the Indian farmer.
Okay. What about making cash? These are all generating cash, or they just somehow to stay alive?
This is only to stay alive. So if you really have to make cash, then you have to have larger acreage. Then the farmers have to have cooperation among themselves. They should jointly discuss about what is a crop they have to put in, so that they aggregate it and then they sell it properly through the help of the government. So this is where I wanted the agricultural officers to come in and have and address the gathering of farmers, at least in a panchayat level. So every panchayat will have around some 7 to 10 villages. So they can say, this village, we have done the soil testing in your areas, this crops can grow well. So per hectare they can calculate this much should be the potential, and then they should channelize it to sell to the government and give a good price.
So people will come if they're called, or do they make it into a mela?
Today the agricultural people are coming, but I am not sure whether they have any targets set by the government for their performance. Now, there is an agri officer for every assigned to every
He
village.
must be having his own target, how much to collect.
So he can actually, his goal should be measured with what is the productivity he is going to bring in his area. So every area, every village has its own nativity. So if one particular area banana is growing, then he should be given targets how to improve the yield. If one area ragi is growing, he should be given targets how to make ragi more.
Do you guys have drones to see who's doing what?
We are still not reached there.
I mean,
Madhav.
it's not a big deal.
It's easy to implement, but my only thought process is, in agri, the government needs much more to do rather than announcing SOPs, so-called SOPs in the budgets. As an extension of my thought, now the government supports so much in building houses. The residential layouts are approved by the government, water is provided, electricity is provided, roads are provided.
Sewage.
So what stops the government from developing agricultural layouts? Government has thousands and thousands of acres. So at the outskirts of Chennai, if somebody wants to set up an agricultural layout, like Mahindra City as software export zone, the government can make a agricultural promotion zone. And if the government develops 100 acres, provides water, provides know-how, provides drip
So
lines.
you fence off each of these
Fence
areas
off each
and you
other,
give them a
and then you
supply.
lease it. You don't even need to sell it. You lease it to, let's say that half an acre per family. That brings in 200 people from corporate citizens or people who are interested in making agricultural. Apply for that. You charge them. And I'm sure everybody, instead of flocking the malls and not knowing what to do on a weekend, I'm sure everybody will go to agricultural. There you send in your agri officers who can guide the people about, what are the crops they should do.
You might even reverse the city migration back into
the roots.
rural migration.
Rural migration.
Go back.
Yes, and everybody, and as more people come into agricultural, I also find that it brings in a balance to a person. Right, agricultural evens out a lot of things. Right, so agricultural is not that, it's not something what you can predict always all the time. There are variances which come in agriculture.
Very challenging.
Sometimes an insect attack, a pest attack, sometimes a lack of rain, sometimes too much of rain. The person gets a balance if he's in agricultural.
So you, as a professional who's doing farming part-time, do you come across these government officers in senior levels at any function, at any interaction? Do you have?
I haven't been. There are two reasons which could be that, because I typically go on a weekend. I do 2 trips a month.
Okay.
That could be one reason what I'm not done it. But I have visitors to my farm who are eminent personalities in the field of agriculture.
Oh, they do come?
They do. They heard about me and they came to my
Who's
farm.
the last guy who came?
The last guy who comes, he's the secretary of Tiruchi Vanali Vivasayigal Sangam. His name is Baburajan.
Okay.
He's 82 years of old. He has dedicated his life to agricultural. He sits in Trichy. So he came, and All India Radio Trichy people came. They interviewed me, and my program was telecast
Yes,
last
I
September.
remember hearing that. Yes,
Last
yeah.
September, yes.
Okay.
And in addition to that, a lot of people, they hear about my farm, and then, they have visited me. But unfortunately, no government officer has come yet.
No?
Yeah, no, not a single guy.
That we should change. Maybe it just requires somebody to go and prod the government into saying, ye karo, wo karo. You can't just sit there and things will happen on your own. Yeah, so finally, the important thing for people to know is that when you come into a city, they say the city is a great leveler. It removes all barriers. People don't know what caste you are. You get into a bus and everybody's on the same, holding the same bar. So all caste differences drop away, which is not true in villages. That is very heavily emphasized. So I'm sure that's a huge handicap. So we'll talk about that also. How tough it is to be a villager.
Sure.
Not easy. The other thing that fascinates me is how are we ever going to reverse this trend of people coming in from the small towns into the big towns? I mean, this is a universal phenomenon, nothing to do just with us. Yeah, they say in a couple more years, it'll already be 50% city people and 50% in the countryside, and the proportion is going to reverse rapidly till it's become 20% in the countryside and everybody else in the cities. Do you know anything that we need to do to stop it? I don't know about reversing, but at least to slow down the people leaving rural area.
Let's say it's already started happening. Let me put it this way:
Yes.
the explosion of internet and the explosion of mobile has made this to a larger extent. For example, anybody wants to see a YouTube in the city, the same guy in the village can also see the same YouTube from his village.
That is true.
What makes the difference is this availability of cash in hand. The
Yes.
guy in the city has more cash in hand compared to his
Liquidity.
brother. Liquidity is one of the issues. The second one is infrastructure. Okay, a city is very well laid out. You have some places for entertainment. It's very well laid out. You have those in the city, in the villages as well, but not up to the standards what is available in a city. You have very famous malls in the city and theaters in the city, but you have theaters and
and these
the
people
village.
see it
But
in the
there's a
movies.
quality difference.
Yeah, that's
quality
true.
difference. The other one is your anonymity, as you said. Anonymity is very, very prevalent in the cities, whereas in a village you get quickly identified. Your ancestors are traced just by seeing you.
Yeah,
They tell
they
you
don't
your
have to
so-and-so's son. And
don't cross that street because you're in the wrong caste or something like that. But there's a huge anonymity in the city.
Yeah.
You can get away with murder.
Yeah, so just on the other side, you don't need anonymity as long as you're doing the right thing. So
that's true.
Which is fine. But I thought what should all of us should try to focus is, at least we should try to help a farmer to make at least 25,000 rupees a month. Okay, or at least 3
So
lakhs
that
a
should
year.
be the target.
I think
If
3
you
lakhs a
take-
year if a farmer is able to make.
So when you
with
say
his
a
land.
farmer, you mean
Yeah.
a family of farmers, father,
Husband,
mother,
wife, and 2 or 3 children.
Okay.
I think they should
25,000 rupees a month in cash
in cash.
should be what we're aiming at.
Yes, I think if this is available, then the farmer has his own land. He has some basic agricultural produce with which he can eat and live, and he has some amount of liquid cash to dispense.
So this
as well.
25,000 is what you're talking about is what he will make out of the rice farming and the goats and the
Yes,
chicken
yes.
and whatever else he's doing in the farm.
Yes.
Put all that together, he should earn 25,000 rupees a month.
Yes. That's a minimum what we all should target.
So do farmers save? It's something I always wanted to know. Do they save money?
They
say I don't have.
See,
but I
they
know
don't
what-
typically put in the bank. I have seen typically everybody invest in some known fellow running a chit fund, right? So this
Is
is
that
very
because of
prevalent.
inconvenience? There were no farms. I mean, there were no banks those days.
Even today banks are there.
Yes, now they're everywhere.
Yeah, but a farmer, a lot of guys take loan from the bank Okay?
Yes, yes.
To buy a tractor, for example, or to
Correct.
invest in their crops, for example, they do.
Yes.
But locally, I find a lot of people investing in chit funds, where it's
I
run
guess
with trusted people.
Yeah, it's
It's not very organized.
time-honored system. So,
Yes, it's not very well organized, but I see people doing
but I
this.
think you can get your money when you need it faster
Yes.
through these guys than
Through the banks.
regular bank.
Yes.
Yes. But the whole business of saving is not inculcated among farmers.
It's again more personalized. Some farmers do save.
So you said when farmer working at the end of the day, and if he's got cash for whatever reason he earned some that day, if it's on his own, he will just give a portion of that to his family, and the rest he'll probably drink it off. That's your experience with.
Yes, but whereas if it's from a female point of view, the female laborers come, whatever salary is given, it directly goes to the family.
There is no drinking among women.
I haven't come across yet, but yeah, I've also heard that some of the women folks also drink, but I haven't experienced.
Yeah, but it must be the occasional one. But regular drinking.
Let
of the
me say,
male,
predominantly, I haven't seen them.
So is there a way of collecting small savings? This is a very, I think it was in Bangladesh or somewhere they talked about Grameen Bank, where they kept collecting they call it micro banking, I think. Microscopic amounts they were collecting, but that grew because when more people collect even microscopic amounts, it starts to become a big amount. So they were very successful. Is there anything like that in the villages? Do you think we could start something like that?
Surely start in that way. So there's a lot of cooperative banks who can really make an impact in that way.
No, like some lady in that who's somewhat well known, she could be put in charge of that. At the end of the day, whatever cash you have with you and you can spare, put it away.
Yes, there should be some mandatory schemes for, and avenues where people can quickly reach out and put some money for saving.
Even you and I have seen that. We have money in the wallet, it just goes.
Yes.
We see something totally unnecessary which we will buy.
Yes.
So if that money was not there, you won't waste it on that.
So the government should give more channels which are quickly reachable to people to encourage savings.
That's true.
No doubts on that.
Yeah. So that doesn't exist now.
That I'm not visibly seeing it. I've seen people do in chit funds. Investments do happen in chit funds, or investment happens once in a month in the post office. So I've seen this Prime Minister's one of the schemes of encouraging savings for girls' side. I think that's taken up in a good way.
The other important thing is security. Everybody talks about security, where the farmers they're not secure. They're, in the sense that people fight and attack them, and we see it in the papers all the time. Is it that dangerous out there in the countryside?
No, not much.
Or is it an exaggeration?
I think it's an exaggeration. People are safe in the countryside as long as there are no famines. Okay, there are no natural calamities.
Yeah.
I think people.
Like you're walking down the road.
Everybody minds their business.
You're walking down the road and at 11 o'clock at night, you will not get set upon.
No, not at all. I don't think there is any problem from a safety point of view. Everybody minds their own business. It is okay.
So it would, in that case, it would be a good place to attract some tourism from the cities.
Of
Come
course.
and live in a tent in the village and help us grow vegetables.
Of course,
and charge them for it.
Yeah, that's the plan I'm trying to work out. I'm trying to bring my farm as a research center. I want to bring in so many varieties of plants and then show it that how a 12 acre or a 10 to 12 acre land can self-sustain itself, bring in diversity, bring in certain animal husbandry, bring in certain vegetables.
Be like millets, a
demo of what a 10 acre can do to sustain itself. I'm actually moving towards that direction.
Okay, Babu, lovely having you. And
Thank you.
I really hope you are successful because you have the good ideas, and ideas is where it all starts. If you don't have an idea at all, then what the hell are you going to do?
Yeah, there's one book I would like to highlight.
Yeah.
It is written by Vairamuthu. It's known as Moonram Ulaga Por.
Okay.
It actually narrates the Indian agricultural scenario today. It's published maybe 4 or 5 years before, but I recommend that everybody who is interested in agriculture to read that book.
So thank you, and so all you guys, you heard that name of the book, go out and buy it.
Yeah.
At least Vairamuthu will be really happy.
Thanks, brother.
Thank
it's
you.
a pleasure. Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.